Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan of the Chart Guys, trader and technical analyst for the last 13 years. In this video, we're going to check in on the broader market as the bulls were buying the dip today. AI names continue their significant volatility, and we'll check in on our growth names that are continuing to try and act as laggards. Lots to watch.
So the S&P 500 getting to 9-month highs today. Very quick daily higher low set, which I love because that gives us now a new benchmark level. We can say the bulls have absolute complete control on SPY if 416.22 is support. If that level is lost, things shift a bit. If we're red tomorrow, we're still going to be watching this potential rising wedge because at the moment it is a bull break with zero follow through. But a big win for the bulls today overall. Really just one day of consolidation, and we got to hourly oversold on SPY, well, right above it. The hourly RSI got down to about 31. We bounced right off daily EMA 12, and here we are up testing that high. There was a big drop in the VIX today, and in my opinion, along with some others, a large reason for that drop. It wasn't a huge day in the markets, but it wasn't just tech heading up. We had all of our major sectors hit the high of the day at the same time today. QQQ, XLV, XLF. So when everything is bouncing in unison, that's when the VIX drops the hardest, just like you will never see the VIX do anything like this unless all of our major sectors are dropping together, which is why I talk about it nonstop all the time, because it is one of the most important factors of gauging what the market is doing when it is consolidating or breaking out by watching rotation or not. QQQ, daily bull flag attempt, didn't even get close to hourly oversold. Hourly RSI didn't even get into the 30s. And so it's a potential daily bull flag. Again, new support level. Great. Last one was all the way down at 329.60 or 56. We had nothing to go off of nearby. Now we have something. If 346.51 holds, the bulls have absolute control. We had a little weakness first thing this morning, and we bounced off of that level by 15 cents, and then the bulls had a big old day of it. Profit taking into the end of the day, but if you zoom out, just looking for an hourly high or low, hourly consolidation inevitable after that kind of a move. So all about 346.51 now. And the bulls are trying to get back to 52-week highs at 353.93. Daily uptrend remains our guide. Semiconductors, daily higher low set 143.80, although taking it with a grain of salt because we have not confirmed an hourly uptrend yet. The low was hit this morning. Nice bounce. We've got space for it, but the bulls must confirm the hourly uptrend tomorrow if we're going to have confidence in a new daily higher low being set. If it is a new daily higher low, that's a bull flag, but bulls still have to prove the hourly trend change. Real quick, we've got a free market environment dossier created by Chart Gal Lori, and what this does, it gives you pretty much a checklist to go through and establish to make sure that you're watching all the key things that you need to be watching as you are creating a trade game plan. We've got a demo video that comes along with it, and you can download the table and use it yourself. Link in the comments of this video, free. And we look at NVDA, big time day for the bulls today. And chart guy Jungle Funk pointing out the relative strength first thing this morning, helped me with a little bull trade out of the gate. Rode up all day. We had a bear trade at the end of the day. The only bear trade I took today because all major sectors hit the high of the day together. So when that happens, again, I generally just focus in that direction. But I was looking at the break of psychological. I often use a break of a psychological level when things are very extended to be looking at a move in the other direction. And so just pulling up to prove I'm not a liar. So scouting NVDA top fish for one attempt, and that was at 224. And so that was right after we broke 400 with zero follow through. I got my fill 399.50, exited partial into the initial pullback because the NASDAQ was still extremely strong, and then exited in the 395s for the rest, or maybe, yeah, 395s, I think. And just looking for the hourly consolidation and knowing it was not a swing trade. So nice short on that little rising wedge. And again, for me, it was number one, bulls look tired, but number two, break of 400 psychological. And number three, anything under 402.95 was just a daily inside bar. And I anticipated that a daily inside bar was the most likely scenario with where we stood in the day. The fact that we had been going up all day with no hourly consolidation. So same thing. Can the bulls confirm an hourly uptrend tomorrow to shape up a daily bull flag? The bears are looking at the 4-hour and hoping it's a head and shoulders, but the only way that's going to be a head and shoulders is if the NASDAQ has a big red day tomorrow, which is possible, but burden on bears because this consolidation, again, looking at our retracement size, 0 red flags whatsoever, didn't even touch 382 retracement. So a daily inside bar into tomorrow. We should anticipate hourly consolidation, although we did get a brief amount into the end of the day. We'll see if that's all we get. Other AI names. So AI, big gap down on earnings, and bulls bought the dip significantly. And we had this little 2-minute higher low at the start of the day, which was the go signal for the bulls. Big drop, solid bounce, 2-minute higher low, tight, 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 bulls win, and they didn't look back. That's a massive move. This is why I keep talking about AI. 23% move to the upside in less than 2 hours. You don't get that kind of trading opportunity very often in terms of this amount of liquidity, volume, and volatility. And then from there, the bears had a chance too. On the hourly consolidation that we saw, we ended up pulling back a solid 9%. So opportunity in both directions. Bulls will have to confirm an hourly uptrend for a daily higher low to be set, trying to hold right off EMA 12. Yes, it was a huge drop, but we just had the 3rd highest close in, however many months for this stock. Still holding daily EMA 12. There's a lot of space for a daily lower high. Again, I'm not seeing, if everything looked like this in the AI space, I'd be looking for a temporary top and a daily lower high. But it doesn't. There's a whole bunch of names that still have solid green. VEEV, earnings reaction, monthly sideways range breaking bull. Just keep seeing more and more of these 8 to 12 month monthly sideways ranges, mostly on growth names, breaking bull one by one. We know PLTR did the same thing, and now we're watching, can ARKK do the same thing? ARKK monthly higher low is now set officially, 34.81, and if we break 45.46, the inverse head and shoulders confirms, and that will tell us, yes, there was a laggard play, and yes, there was rotation into growth names. So continuing to watch ARKK very closely. We have a nice daily uptrend as our guide. I kind of hope, because I don't have the size of position that I want, I hope we fail 45.46, set a weekly higher low, and then make a bull break. But we're going to keep taking it one day at a time. Some other AI names having some decent little days out there. PLTR, I was trading PLTR like a madman today, and that's just because it was a daily bull flag shaping up yesterday, and it confirmed, granted no follow through, but we started the morning with a little weakness, so a dip to be bought. We had this big pullback at 10:30. That was a short report, and I'm looking at that short report. I didn't read a word of the short report, and I was aggressively buying that dip. And the reason I was aggressively buying that dip is I thought, really, you're going to choose PLTR as your short report in the face of this AI hype? The fact that they had an investor day presentation today, and the fact that there's clearly big money behind the bulls on PLTR. And so I saw a scenario where these shorts may get squeezed, and lo and behold, within 15 minutes, anybody that went short on that report was underwater. And then we had the key wall of resistance at 15 from a few days ago. That broke bull, and we saw some nice follow through. That being said, with these AI names, I'm personally not being greedy. And this is something that I said in the cannabis bubble, in the crypto bubble. I'm going to leave money on the table on the way up. I'm going to be constantly locking in profits, and I am not going to care about leaving money on the way up, because when the top is hit, I will not be holding the bag. And there have been people in every bull market telling me what an idiot I am for trading and not just holding. And then I'm the one that is not giving back any profits when they drop 50 to 80%. I'm not saying AI is going to drop 50 to 80%, but we know that there will be pullbacks. When we see weekly consolidation, we're going to pull back 30% plus. I will not be holding any positions when that takes place. So my style of trading has me constantly taking profit along the way. And again, I leave money on the table a lot, but I don't care if I leave money on the table, because my goal is maximizing how much money I just keep putting in my pocket. And this was one of the first times on PLTR that I used a trailing stop. I don't always do that. But again, just not being greedy. All right, we broke 15. We've been extremely strong recently. Investor presentation is coming up. I want to avoid a sell the news. We've been running all morning into it. So selling 1507, 1518, 1515, and then the last stop out of a trailing stop loss while I was away from the computer at 1498. We're dropping a bit after hours. Again, just lock in profit as you go. Put yourself in scenarios where you cannot lose. It's extremely comforting to be in that scenario. Healthcare. So healthcare's got its bounce underway. Again, what better time to form a weekly higher low in a long and drawn out equilibrium than from daily oversold conditions? So the strongest 2-day move that we've seen in a month. We will still have to confirm a daily uptrend. We do still have daily EMA 12 resistance. Bulls are not home free. There was a lot of volume behind yesterday's move. We've got to confirm a daily uptrend. If we do, weekly higher low is set, and we're then going to look for a weekly lower high, anything under 135.81, and we're going to look for a break of this tightening range in July or August. But the bulls still have work to do. But that's why the VIX was so weak today. If you look back at every day that the NASDAQ has been running for the last month, 9 times out of 10, healthcare is going to be red. Last 3 weeks, we'll say. The financial sector confirmed the daily bear flag, but that lower wick yesterday, it's a confirmed daily bear flag with zero follow through. 32.23 is resistance. Again, bigger picture, weekly EMA 12 is our guide, and it is still resistance. But all sectors green today, helping the bulls. Still proving to do there. KRE, weekly consolidation started. We broke the high of yesterday. Is this a quick weekly higher low being set? Maybe. Bulls have proving to do. So again, bears have proving to do in semiconductors, AI, and tech. Bulls have proving to do in healthcare, financial sector, and growth. But the growth names, more and more, are starting to join the bull side of things. Again, the fact that ARKK is hitting multiple month highs is showing us that. IWM, daily bear flag confirmed with zero follow through. Still battling weekly EMA 12. Bulls have proving to do in IWM. Biotech sector, 2 daily inside bars in a row. Volatility is coming tomorrow. Most likely. Here's ARKK that we just went over. Riot. Riot is testing the upper range of this month-long sideways range, and MARA is doing the same. MARA has a little bit further to go. Rejected from resistance today, 1041. We pulled back 3 pennies under that level. That was a nice top fish. I did not take it. Should have. Can't trade them all. But what is notable is Bitcoin is doing nothing for the bulls. So we could say that these crypto names are positioned very well if the Bitcoin bulls can do anything. So I am keeping an eye out for hourly higher lows in a number of names. I'm watching for MARA and Riot to give us hourly higher lows. That hourly consolidation started at the end of the day. Cost, having just broken our forever 2-week equilibrium bullish, is trying to shape up a daily bull flag. If we get over 515 from here, great sign for follow through. 529 is the next major level. Cost is a top watch on the swing perspective. Look at the 4-month time frame. Sideways. Very healthy overall. And took a trade today in TGT. Big shout out to the team. TJ, last night, getting ready for the day today, he posts and says, is anybody getting interested in a TGT bounce? And TGT, if you've been following along, it's, all the headlines of the go woke, go broke, all that BS I don't care at all about. But it tells me everybody's getting on one side of the boat. We're getting overextended, just knowing how many retail people are going to jump on that narrative and short, and to have this kind of stair-step drop. And so I posted it on Twitter. So it was a little bit of teamwork where, he made the post about, is anybody interested in this bounce? And I looked at it and said, we have not had a gap down the last 4 days while we're dumping. Give me a gap down and I am interested. And that's because you often see a gap mark an exhaustion point of an extreme move. And so we gapped down. I made those entries with a 128 average and sold enough where, my stop, I am in a swing position now, and my stop is under 126.75 and risk-free. Cannot lose on this trade unless we see a big gap down open. I'm looking for a bounce to daily EMA 12 resistance. And I'm just going to take it one day at a time. just looking for a daily lower high. But again, everybody was on one side of the boat. Market makers know to have that maximum move when you're exhausted, that last gap up, that last gap down. And if we had been gapping down the whole way, then it doesn't matter to me. But I'd look at that and say, wow, we're extremely weak. And look, we just open right near the low every day, no gap. Watch for the gap to mark the bottom. Make note of that. It happens often. Obviously not every time, but it's just another little clue. And that comes from observation and experience. Still have to confirm an hourly uptrend. Got to break the high of today tomorrow for the hourly uptrend to be intact. That daily EMA 12 is going to be dropping very quickly every day. A couple days it'll be under 140. We'll see. CCJ, stop me out, and an absolute monster move. Another name with the forever equilibrium breaking bull. This has been over a year in the making, and I have been benefiting a bit from this bull move. We're up a bit after hours, but not the position that I wanted to have. That's just the way it goes sometimes. And this is an influx of news. Joe Rogan was talking about uranium with, who was it, Oliver Stone, the documentary maker. You've got, there's a number of reasons. I leave the fundamentals up to our uranium guys, Jungle Funk Joey and Red Devil. But this is the move. Look at that volume. Highest volume in 7 months. This is the break. Been waiting for 6 months for this. Next level, 3117 needs to break to be sure that we're getting some follow through. And then if we get over 3237, we'll be at the highest levels in over a decade. And if this continues to follow through, CCJ is the leader. We watch for laggards. Look at you. Nice big bull move, but we're not even at highs of the last month. So if this move is for real, the volume tells me it is, but if this move is for real, you could potentially start hearing a lot more about uranium. There was something else. There's a fund that's going to start. I'm not the narrative guy for uranium. I think a fund is going to start building some positions. Anyways, huge day for the bulls. A lot of space for an hourly high or low on CCJ. It's just a lot of setups out there that I like. Dollar, 4-hour rising wedge that we were watching, broke bear very nicely. Is this our weekly lower high being set? Maybe. Bears will have a bit more proving to do, but good start. And with that, the metal bulls took off. So you got gold, falling wedge, breaking bull. Weekly bounce, trying to shape up. Silver, same deal. Getting some follow through. Look at these miners. Again, it's a daily oversold back burner. Trade sideways a bit, explosion. NUGT is up like 17% in the last 2 days. It was all the clues. Well, there were a number of clues. Number one, relative strength in the metals. The metals started their bounce before the dollar topped out. Number two, 4-hour rising wedge on the dollar, knowing a weekly lower high is the most likely scenario. Number three, 2-week time frames for metals and miners, knowing a 2-week high or low is the most likely scenario. And all those little pieces just shift your conviction. This is one, this week I'm having a great trading week, but it's almost like there's so much going on. I look back in hindsight, it's an easy play to be long metals, but I can't get down on myself because there's so much going on, and it's been a great week that there's just a lot of setups right now. Can't get them all. Oil, bounce underway, trying to shape up a weekly high or low, but one green day won't be enough. Bulls would have to keep showing us a weekly high or low is forming, and natural gas bears keeping their complete control. Honestly, I'm considering voice if you want me to keep covering natural gas, because I'm ready to ditch it out of my life forever. All right. Appreciate you watching. Hope you had a great day and do good things.
Little garden check-in here. We're about 2/3 of the way done. Mulching the paths. Poppies. Someone sent me those. Forget who. I let the asparagus go. Let's see. Flower bed. Beets. I let these mustard greens that I didn't plant go to flower. Onions and chard. Sugar snap peas. This is cilantro that went to flower already. Lettuce, kale. Collard greens, carrots, flowers, potatoes. This is kale that I didn't plant, but it got massive. It lasted over the winter. A couple pepper plants, some squash, some flower, volunteers. Volunteers just means I didn't plant it. It came from last year. A couple cucumbers, more potatoes that I didn't plant. A bunch of potatoes I did plant. Some more squash. Garlic, already took all the scapes off the garlic. Flowers, some different kinds of salvia. Left all these, some kind of clover because the bunnies like them. And I'm going to plant a bunch of climbing beans back here. Got some bush beans in one of these other beds. And another week and we'll be all mulched up and ready to go with the new garden paths.